week, Google's in the news again, but not for a good reason. But first, my name is Steve Smith. This is TQA Weekly, and we're going to be talking about Google's GoogleUserContent content delivery network, which was infected with malware and is now serving compromised images, at least at the time that I was actually writing this episode. And by the way, the Google User Content Delivery Network is owned by Google, obviously, and it was infected with malware, which was attaching code to the EXIF extension of images. Many of us take for granted that some file types are supposedly incapable of being infected, and today we're going to be educating you on that very flawed, very wrong, and dangerous myth of how files can't be infected. All file types could easily be infected, so stop believing that nothing can be infected on your computer. What you can do is go to your antivirus and just make sure that it scans all files as opposed to at-risk files in itself. So let's start off with why images and other files are infectable with malware. So one method demonstrates how a file can be infectable through malware, including images, in using a Stegexploit, an exploit using stenography, which refers to hiding information of any kind in images, messages, and of course files. Images are, by the way, treated as programs now and therefore are loaded into the browser, and code can be run that could compromise the computer with malware itself, but it is a little bit harder than that, and browsers do use sandboxing, and your computer likely runs Windows Defender that always has that other series of features that it has to detect these kinds of problems. And of course, it isn't something that's necessarily readily going to infect your computer as it is. So first, should you panic? The Stegexploit is something that's easy to do. It's based on stenography. If you want me to demonstrate how to do that, write in the comments down below that you want me to do that. I'll show you how stenography works in files. Heck, we'll combine JPEGs with zips, and I'll show you how to load them with the same file with many kinds of programs. But the thing is that it's also not something that's new to us. This is very old news. In fact, if you look up MS04-028, you'll see a cleverly drafted JPEG file could be infected with malware and actually take over your computer. And it was using, by the way, stenography, which, by the way, is a feature, not actually an exploitable vector inside of pictures. And it has since been fixed for that kind of problem. However, panicking is kind of useless. So a lot of the times, in order for these files to pose any harm whatsoever in your computer, they have to be run, yes, in a different way than the original file was intended. So you would be able to infect it with scripting. However, what ends up happening is that it has to be run as a script and not as an image source, which, by the way, means that you can actually stop panicking and relax. Sure, there's danger, but it's not a catastrophic amount of danger that's going to set fire to everyone's computer. It is only mildly dangerous, and anyway, worrying about where these files are is going to be kind of complicated, considering that the Google User Content Delivery Network serves a lot of places on the internet. You should still be careful. You should always run antivirus software. In this case, make it scan for everything, every file type. Install all the latest updates. Don't open files from places you don't trust, like emails and Office files, which, by the way, is a vector that you could use with an image to load it as both the image and a script, and it would actually take over your computer. And of course, just make sure that you maintain backups of unreplaceable personal files. So you should panic only a tiny little bit, but panicking a lot is kind of beyond the point. Be cautious. Don't worry about it. After all, we're talking about Google here. They'll probably have it fixed very soon. They'll probably be scanning all files for this EXIF code that was put in by the malicious virus that was actually injected into their server. And of course, the entire world will come to peace again. Special props to GoDaddy having that company actually finding out what this problem was. And of course, if you need to see the sources of this show, go to tqaweekly.com/SE8EP48 for all of the sources of this episode. Now, if you liked this episode, like it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those that you think can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, topics for me, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com or go to my website, tqaweekly.com, for everything else. And if you want to make this show better, go to patreon.com/tqaweekly and become a patron today. Patrons get these episodes 2 days in advance of everyone else. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.